Book title, My Witch. Author is Rudransh Chauhan. Chapter 2, Our First Kiss. Since I saw Harry, it's as if I found a separate happiness, as if he has given me a new reason to live, or you could say he has given me a new opportunity to chat at school. I quickly reach school and wait for him, but he hasn't come to school for the past 2 or 3 days. I asked the other girls about him, but everyone says his family is quite strange, meaning no one has seen them. I woke up this morning, put on clothes, and went towards the school with my mother. I stood in the school garden, then went inside the arts building, and suddenly, Sarah came to me and hugged me quickly. She took me towards the canteen, and we sat at a table where many people were already sitting. "How are you?" Sarah asked me. She's a good girl, her blue eyes and blonde hair really appeal to me. "I am fine," I lied because my stomach was hurting as my menstruation had started. "That's good," she turned her face towards the table. "And tell me, how are you?" I quickly asked, because I had forgotten to ask. "Oh, I am fine," Sarah said, turning her face towards me. I really liked her sly smile. I looked to the side and saw some boys bullying a girl, but she didn't pay any attention to them. I don't like it when a boy or a girl bullies anyone. I heard a familiar voice saying, "Can I sit with you?" It was Harry. I didn't see Sarah's reaction and immediately looked towards Harry, gesturing for him to sit. He sat down beside both of us, and some girls and a boy were looking at the three of us, but Sarah didn't seem bothered by it. "Hello, how are you both?" Harry asked us. "We're both good. How about you?" Sarah said before I could speak, giving me a sidelong glance. What did that mean, giving me a sidelong glance? "I'm fine," Harry said. His blue eyes seemed more appealing than Sarah's, I don't know why, but he looked more handsome. "You've been absent for quite a few days," I asked, and Sarah looked at me and then immediately at Harry. "Oh, I was a bit sick, not too much, but a little," he said, but I felt his voice wavering a bit in between. "Okay, take care of yourself," I said. "Thank you for worrying about me," Harry said, his black hair covering his forehead as he removed it with his hands. "Would you like to come with me, for dinner or maybe for a coffee?" Harry said. "Of course, she will go. Is it okay, right?" Sarah said, and I nodded in agreement. Then Erica, a friend, began calling her. Her face was very pale, and her eyes were brown, with a few marks on her face, but we can't call anyone ugly, inner beauty is beautiful. "Bye-bye, I'll meet you in the ground after school," Harry said. "Bye-bye," I said, and then Harry left, and I watched him leaving the canteen. "Oh my God," Sarah said. "You're going on a date with him." "Oh my God, I am so excited for you both." "Yeah, I am going, but I don't know how it will be." "Wait, we're just going for coffee," I said. I knew the answer was coming, but I said it anyway. "You're so crazy. Going for a coffee date is the trend these days, you know. He's the most popular and wealthy girl in school, but Harry never pays attention to her," Sarah said. When the school bell rang, we both stood up, holding each other's hands and embracing. You could say we were typical girls, but not typical. We both went to our first economics class together, and I noticed that Harry wasn't there. Sarah and I were sitting together when Sarah opened her bag to take out a book, and I saw a name written there, Helena. It could be the name of a girl, not a boy. I wanted to ask, but left it because it seemed personal. I had seen some words written on the paper, like, "Sorry, I am sorry," and "I love you." I thought about asking her because we were friends, but it felt too personal, so I didn't. The class began, and all the girls and boys shifted their attention towards the teacher who was discussing poverty and unemployment. Sarah had focused her attention on the teacher, but suddenly she got a strong jerk. I immediately held her shoulder and felt her stomach, asking, "What happened?" The whole class, including the teacher, looked at Sarah. She was blushing with embarrassment, and there was a trace of fear on her face. She immediately said, "Nothing, nothing, just felt a sudden chill." "Oh, do you need a sweater?" the boy behind us said, with his red hair, brown eyes, a brown face, and slender but beautiful eyes. "No thanks," Sarah said, looking at him, and he looked back at me and said, "Don't worry, nothing happened." I was concerned because we were friends, but I left it. Economics, geography, political science, all the lectures continued. After school, Sarah left, wishing me good luck, and I reached the garden. There, Harry was waiting for me in his black shirt and blue jacket, and I thought, God, he is so hot. Some girls were giving him looks, and some boys had heard rumors that he was gay. Liking someone isn't a big deal, nor is being homosexual a bad thing. But I like Harry, and when I look at him I feel a different kind of jolt running through my body. When he smiles, it's like an electric current running through me. I walked over to him, and he was waiting for me. When I approached, a smile appeared on his face, and he looked at me and said, "Is everything okay so far? Your menstruation started, right?" But immediately, his face turned pale, and he seemed to be getting nervous. "Yes, but how do you know?" I asked as if he had read my mind. No, just guessed," he immediately said. "Let's go to a popular coffee shop. We can go while walking, it's not too far from here." I said yes, and then we started walking on the pavement, with the school building's iron gate behind us. The surroundings were filled with lush green trees, and the weather seemed to be searching for clouds, as if it might rain soon, but this city's weather was like this every day. "What's your full name?" I asked. "Harry McFenrer," he replied, then looked towards the front. I held his hand, which was slightly warm, and felt his t-shirt against his body. Oh my God, he is so hot. He didn't have any beard or mustache on his face. Then he said, "Would you like to see my favorite locket?" "Yes," I said. He lowered his blue t-shirt a bit, and I looked at his chest, which looked very beautiful. I mean, what can I say, it's the marvel of teenage years. Then he took out a blue locket, and put his t-shirt back up. The blue locket was shining around his neck, with a blue stone that looked very beautiful. "It's really beautiful," I said, speaking the truth. "Thanks, dear," he said, and I immediately said, "You're welcome." We kept walking for another 5 minutes, and then I noticed a shop, a coffee shop, with "Your Coffee" written outside in big wooden letters. It had glass windows, and through one of them, I could see a couple enjoying their coffee. He held my hand, and we went inside. As we entered, we heard the sound of drinks being prepared. A server came to us and said that our coffee would be ready in a while and asked us to take a seat at a table. I thought Harry must come here often. We went to a spot by a window with glass panels, and there were 2 tables. We sat there, and I could see the beautiful view outside, with lush green trees lining the empty road. Then he looked at me, and I looked back at him. We both started complimenting each other's clothes, and just then we noticed the pair sitting behind us had begun to whisper. "It's quite delightful, isn't it?" He was only gazing at me, and I, too, was looking at him. I had figured out what was going to happen, so we both closed our eyes and started getting closer and closer. And then I felt someone's lips touching mine, his hands had grabbed my shoulder, and he started kissing me. I kept my eyes shut, but it was wonderful. I suddenly felt like some people were watching us. But just as our lips were about to part, I realized his lips had moved away from mine. I kept my eyes shut and placed my hands on the table. When I opened my eyes, Harry was looking outside the window, his cheeks had turned red, and he was smiling. Just then, the waiter came over with 2 coffees, placed them on the table with a smile, and walked away. We both picked up our coffees and started looking at each other when he said, "Sorry if that was too much." "Don't say that, I enjoyed it too," I replied, seeing the happiness on Harry's face. Just then, my mum called and asked me to come home as it was getting late. "Okay, I have to go." "It was lovely," I said. "Okay, bye, take care of yourself," he replied. We both went outside the coffee shop. I waved outside the window as I sat in the taxi, saying goodbye. I reached home, and my mum scolded me a little, but then she apologized. We had dinner, watched TV, and then I went to my room. But you know, as soon as I entered my room, I was thinking about our first kiss. To be continue.